So Behfar, I'm going to give you a lovely back, neck and shoulders scalp treatment today, and it's going to ease those tight muscles for you and make you feel stress-free, very relaxed for the rest of the day. But first of all, because you've just laid on the couch, first thing I'm going to do is my towel management and make sure that the towel is tucked in correctly, keeping you secure and safe in the knowledge of where the towel comes to. So whenever I tuck the towel in, I always make a line so that you know exactly where it comes to. So having arranged the towel around the bottom of the spine, I'm now going to sort out the towel at the feet. And to do that, I make a nice neat overlapping triangle over the feet. Towel management is very important. Then lift the feet and bring the rest of the towel, because I like a nice overhanging towel so you've got plenty of warmth around the feet. And then bring a pillow or cushion, slip your hand under the feet. You take all of the weight so that they don't have to lift for you, and then press the ankles. And the reason I press the ankles into the cushion is quite often the person will have lifted the feet for you, whether you want them to or not, and then all of the muscles in the back of the legs and the gluteals will still be contracted. And so by pressing the ankles and the heels down, they know where the cushion is, how far it goes down, how soft or hard it is, and it tells the muscles just to relax. It's a nice secure way that the body knows just to be. And so the first thing I'll do is actually connect with the person, and that just means holding with flat hands onto each end of the back just for a few seconds, and that helps to ground and connect. It's a lovely feeling, and we'll be doing this again right at the end. And then Behfar, if you could just take 3 deep breaths for me. And working from the centre of the spine, while they're still without oil on the back, you just want to stretch from the centre outwards with flat hands. And with every out breath, you pull away. That's it. Nice and slow movements. The next thing I'm going to do is actually to ensure that they are settled. And by settled, I mean that the body isn't bunched up. So quite often we get onto a couch and we're hunched and bunched and not spread out, stretched out. So I'm just going to raise one shoulder, if she'll let me. Quite often the body will reject that and want to tighten up, so we just stretch one shoulder out and then the other, making sure the elbow doesn't come off the couch. We can make sure we can look after that ourselves, so that the person on the couch doesn't have to worry about arms falling off the couch. Quite often the hips will need to be settled as well. You just come round each side of the hip with your fingers just tucking under the hip bone, and just give it a little pull and a stretch downwards away from the length of the spine, and that ensures you have a nice long stretched out back. It's a beautiful feeling to feel like that. So then I'm just going to reach for my essential oils I've already mixed up. So this is a mixture of organic sunflower oil, rosehip oil. They're both carriers, full of vitamins and excellent for dry skin. And I've also put a couple of essential oils in there of Roman chamomile and lavender, both of which are anti-inflammatory, but they will treat dry skin issues and tense muscles, and potentially any knots. So all I'm doing right now is just applying the carrier and making sure that it covers all of the areas I'm going to be working on initially. There we are. You need to feel that there's some give in the skin, that you're not pulling the skin at all, otherwise it will hurt. And also when I'm giving or doing the first part of this treatment, I'm always looking for issues immediately, any skin irritations or obvious knots at this stage, anything that's changed from the previous massage, in case I need to keep them informed of, for instance, scarring or moles that are increasing, or any irritations. Eczema and psoriasis show up at this point as well, so I might want to change my essential oils for something I find that they don't know about on their backs. So I've applied the essential oil, and I'm going to start the massage from the top of the spine with an effleurage, keeping your own posture correct all the way through. Hands together around the hips, pull back up, around the deltoids, down around the hips, pull back up each side of the spine, not pressing on the spine, round the shoulders, pulling up at the neck. So this effleurage treatment is a way of starting the massage, warming the muscles, and introducing yourself to the body. Now the books may well tell you to do 3 of each technique when working your way around the body, but actually I find that you need to work on instinct, and if there is an area that needs more time, then do so. And then I'm going to come back round, double my hands, and do a figure of 8 around shoulders. Have loose hands so that they are not like trying to massage with metal spoons, but that the hands will mould around the bone and structure of the body. And at this point you'll be picking up where any tension lies, any knots, maybe even where the fascia is tight around the muscle groups. I'm going to home in a little bit more on the top of the trapezius. So the trapezius muscle is actually from the base of the neck to each shoulder point, and then it meets again about here, about bra line level. And so this is a diamond shaped muscle called the trapezius, which can get very tight with car driving and computer work, and the top 2 lines across the shoulder lengths there get quite knotty, so they do need a lot of attention normally. So I'm going to come round the other side and show you how I work on Behfar's right shoulder. So working on this trapezius now, I'm going to do overlapping hands, pointing upwards towards the head, but not pressing on the spine. The spine is here, and it's very important not to press on the bones of the spine. So I'm overlapping hands, using my fingers in between the shoulder blade and the spine. So they tend to bunch up around this tight area here and then widen when they're able to. The shoulder blade, you can actually trace the outside of it, is from here to here to here. like this. And so I'm going to be working with my fingers nice feeling. And then I'm going to use my thumbs, one pushing the other one down, all the fingers anchoring me, down through the same area and going quite deep, because of course this time I'm only using my thumbs rather than the area of my fingers. So you are able to get in far deeper. And you'll notice that I'm actually pulling the shoulder while I'm doing it, because it's quite common for the person on the couch to tighten up at this stage, bunch their shoulders up. So what I'm trying to do is give her the security that she can relax by pulling her open and stretched again. So I'm working in that area with my thumbs, working upwards always, up over the shoulder, towards the heart always. And in this case it's important because I'm working on all of that lymph fluid which is being pushed up and over the shoulders and then down into the lymph factory in the chest to get rid of all those toxins. This area is now quite rosy and warm. It's quite warm to the touch, and that's a good thing. You want the area where you've been working to be warm, because all the muscles are now full of the blood circulation, and the circulation brings with it all the nutrients and oxygen in order to give the area healing, to get rid of any tightness, and of course the lactic acid. The lactic acid builds up through stress and adrenaline release, and obviously exercise as well. But lactic acid that isn't disposed of will sit in areas just like this, and other areas I'll show you later, across the shoulders, and then the lactic acid will build up what we call crystals, because they feel like brown sugar under the skin. And they will sit there happily for years and grow into knots unless you do something about it, like stretches, yoga, proper exercise that is stretching you, or a regular massage. So now I'm going to remind the back that I'm going to do the whole back, not just the shoulders that have received quite a lot of attention so far. So I'm coming down to the base of the spine, and this time pushing up from the base upwards. And you'll notice that my movements are quite slow, definitely firm, certainly not weak or loose at all, and they are placed. And by that I mean that the person I'm massaging knows exactly where my hands are all the time, and that there is no insecurity from them in that they are wondering where I'm going to go next, or wondering where my hands are at any one time. So now I'm going to divide the back into 3 parts: the upper, the middle and the lower. And I'm just going to do some push-up effleurages separating those 3 areas. So for instance, 3 on each, if that's what you feel the body needs. Coming down and doing the middle section. And again, you're looking for tension all of the time. It's what I call a searching massage. You're searching for issues, searching for crystals or tension, knots, anything like lumps and bumps that might be going on under the skin. that you can either correct or work on over a series of massages, or need to tell the person about. Okay, so now I'm going to be working on the sacrum, the base of the spine, and this is actually a part of the spine you can work on, which is an upside down triangle. So it's from the point at the base of the spine to 2 points at about this level, as so. Okay, so I'm going to be working with my thumbs initially, and you notice again it's always upwards towards the heart, pressure is upwards. Make sure you're not leaning without support under your own weight. Make sure you're doing that dancing massage again. And apply as much pressure as you feel is right. I know that's difficult to tell, but actually the sacrum can take quite a lot of pressure. Even if I was to put a lot of my body weight over the sacrum now. How does that feel for you, Behfar? Yeah? Doesn't feel too much? No? And then it's nice to bring your knuckles into play as well, and then work a little bit more around the hip. Our hips take a lot of work and stress, and we don't often give them anything back, and a massage, especially a good massage, will always concentrate on massaging the hips here as well. There's a nice flat hip bone right here, which is absolutely fantastic to have massaged. It's one of those feelings that it's slightly strange because it's hardly ever massaged, but when it is, you just feel, right, I need that all the time. That's definitely doing me good. So, 2 knuckles over the sacrum, and you see I start in the centre, small circles, get larger to the top of the sacrum, and then I work outwards. And around the hips. It's not uncommon for some people, more at the ribs area, but sometimes at the hips, to actually feel that that's quite ticklish there, and you might find that they want to laugh at this point, and that's perfectly fine, and that's normally associated with all the toxins there, and because they've been sitting there pooling for quite a long time, they won't want to budge, and so it's a very strange feeling when they start moving, and that's what makes it feel ticklish. Now, because I'm using essential oils, I'm in the main doing an aromatherapy based massage today. And an aromatherapy massage will work on getting the essential oils through the skin into the blood circulation. That's how aromatherapy works. So, on the whole, an aromatherapy massage is firm, slow, and not necessarily using percussion movements, although I will use some percussion movements today and some other techniques, for instance acupressure and shiatsu, that I bring into my therapeutic massage. What I'm doing at the moment is using my hands to push up the toxins and push them to the sides and down each side of the waist. And then when you come down, make sure that your fingers touch the couch, and then you carry on the movement to make a fist, and then come back round, always contact with the person, and then down again and carry on. Once I've finished doing the waist, I'm going to come up, come to the side at the top of the back, and from the whole length, if you like, of the ribs, I'm going to be scooping up some of this tight lymph type muscles, but it's the lymph I'm working on here. And you're basically doing a scissoring movement and gripping together the flesh in between flat hands. You don't want to be pinching, but you do want to aggravate the lymph just under the skin. Then I'm going to make my fingers into a straight line from the side of the spine, never on it, and at the base of the ribs, and then slowly bring them down in a straight line all the way round, and then come up a little, do the next section, including over the scapula. You'll notice that when I'm trying to locate the spine, I give my straight fingers a little wiggle to see where the spine comes to. Now I'm going to do a more surface lymph drainage, where I'm not necessarily pressing very firm here. I'm going to use, again, flat hands, fingers fairly loose but together, and overlapping from the edge of the spine outwards. And you see my little finger slightly hooks in. The reason for that is you're trying to locate that channel on the side of the spine in order to try and hook the lymph out, away from pooling, and coming down to all the lymph nodes that are on the sides of the body. This movement always feels to the person on the couch as if they are being treated by many people because of the overlapping hands. The muscle group I was just working on, each side of the spine while I was pulling away, this group of muscles each side of the spine here are called the erector spinae, and it's a long muscle working each side as so, and it's a muscle that you don't necessarily want to apply full force to because it's quite strong and it's quite rounded, and if I was to press along there now, that could probably hurt. So what I do is there's a channel in between the muscle and the spine, and that channel needs to be clear. So I work along the channel. You can see how the muscle is bulking there because I'm pushing it. That's the erector spinae there. And I like to have all of my fingers in a line again, working as a team along that channel. It's imperative that we, when we're having a massage, that we clear out that channel. So that was the erector spinae muscle, and we've talked about the trapezius muscle, which is from the base of the neck to the shoulder points and to this part of the back. There is also another significant muscle which I have touched on but not talked about, which is the latissimus dorsi, and this is a wraparound muscle in the mid part of the back. It's a large muscle, but it's not talked about very often because it's normally the trapezius that has the knots, and it's nice to effleurage the muscle and see if there's any particular tension there coming in and out as so. And this is a searching massage. You're looking for issues all the time. After you've used the whole of your hand with an effleurage, you might want to come in with your fingers and thumbs to detect any tension, any blockages each side of the spine. There's no tension here, which is good, but if there was, I would concentrate a little bit more, but you need to be sensitive to any tension that's there. When I'm giving a massage, because I've had so many treatments myself, I know exactly how things feel. And when I've got tension, I know how it feels when that is treated. And you do need to be sensitive to those feelings. So when I'm giving a massage, I feel like I'm having it myself. I know exactly how this feels right now. I feel like I'm having it on my body, my back, right now. And this